Now then, trouble around oil fields in Libya is far from over in 2014. Just a few days after a brief glimmer of hope was reignited following a resumption in production at the El Sharara field in the south of the country. Rebels in the eastern end of Libya are locked in a battle with the government, and they have offered to protect tankers in the region after the government's navy blocked one vessel from taking on its cargo. The rebels declared the region semi-autonomous last year, and now they plan to use some of the country's export facilities to export oil from there. They maintain that oil companies are eager to buy oil regardless of its origin. The region's Libyan Oil and Gas Corporation has written to international oil companies offering to ensure the safety of tankers loading at Esida, the biggest port. From a different perspective, however, Libya's energy minister says the government will sue and cut off any firms buying oil from ports which are under rebel control. The Prime Minister warns that tankers may actually be sunk.
Any firm dealing with the armed groups which have closed the oil ports will be sued and banned from any future cooperation with Libya. There won't be any market for them in Libya anymore. We are warning all global and small firms against dealing with the armed groups.
We will not hesitate to protect the Libyan ports or protect against assaults against the sovereignty, even if it means sinking any ship or carrier approaching the Libyan ports.
Zambia, on the other hand, plans to establish a sovereign wealth fund to spur investment outside of its mining industry. President Michael Sata said the fund will focus on stimulating investment in strategic non-mining industries, among others, expanding the country's investment portfolio and creating jobs. Africa's biggest copper producer joins the continent's largest oil producers, Nigeria and Angola, in setting up a sovereign wealth fund. The fund will be financed through dividends of about 40 state-owned companies, while the government will put in some seed capital, according to the Agriculture Minister, Robert Sichinga. Still on fiscal policy, but this time in East Africa, Kenya plans to start the process of raising anywhere between $1.5 and $2 billion from the international market in a Eurobond at the end of January. Kenya's Treasury Secretary says the money will be used partly to plug a $265 million budget deficit and to retire a $600 million syndicated loan borrowed from a consortium of global banks in 2012. The loan is also expected to shore up central bank reserves, which currently stand at about $6 billion US. Mr. Rotich told a media briefing that the preparation of the bond issuance prospectus is ongoing, but he would not divulge further details due to regulatory limitations. Okay then, off to Las Vegas now, where the Consumer Electronics Show is still in progress. Personal drones have caused quite the buzz over there. Some of the flying objects being shown include items that are for play, for personal photography, and others which, of course, could lead to an entirely new set of commercial applications. The notion of personal drones follows widespread use by the US military and growing reliance by law enforcement on such aerial technology. The retail giant Amazon, for example, has in the meantime hatched a plan to create delivery drones. The French-based tech firm Parrot unveiled its mini drone toy, which can be controlled from a smartphone. Right then, quick run through the markets here for you. Let's see what the numbers are looking like from across the four bourses that we track here on BizAfrica. The oil share index in Nigeria starting the day, of course, in positive ground, really around the same territory it was at the close of trade yesterday. The oil share index in South Africa in the red, down by about a third. The 20-share index in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, in the opposite direction at 5,010 points. The EGX 30 is in the green, up by about a percentage point.